Sustainability Board, April 26, 2017, 7 p.m.
Well, we got it. We got the house and everything.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we can start with public comment. If anybody has anything to say? See some of our favorite troublemakers, but nobody's anything to say. All right, we can move right along to item 4, which is Eric Schwartz to present a check for the reusable bag campaign. Mr. Schwartz, if you would.
Good evening, everyone. Surfrider is very happy to be associated with this bag program in Satellite Beach, and thanks. You are one of the progressive cities in the nation, and as plastic pollution gets more and more in the news and people are getting aware of it, and how, in fact, I read a newspaper online every morning, amcostarica.com, and it's for the expats. It goes reading. There's an article again this morning in it of microbeads, 5 millimeter smaller particles in the water, and now what they're doing studies with climate change and how the density of water, ice caps melting, fresh water. You ever swim in a pool? You don't float as well as you do like in the ocean. And how that affects plastics, where it sinks, where it stays floating. Excuse me. So thanks with Josh being part of Surfrider and convincing the city to come on board and get this bag program going. I can see some progress has been made in making the residents aware of the plastic, and we need to keep it out of the ocean. It's getting in the food stream. It's the equivalent in the article this morning is every minute there's a dump truck full of plastic being dumped in the ocean worldwide. And then if things keep continuing as they are, by 2050 there'll be more plastic than sea life in the ocean. So Surfrider is glad that you got on board and had the funds, and we had the bags, and we still have bags to sell. And Surfrider is presenting a check for $2,500 back to the city.
Wow. Don't spend it all at once.
And hopefully this program will keep gaining headway and gaining support. And we started in Melbourne Beach. Satellite is on board, and we're trying to get Indialantic and Indian Harbor. They expressed interest to get the bag program going too. We have a lobbyist up at Tallahassee. 3rd year in a row we're trying to get a bill. Well, there's 2 bills in progress up there. Try to get the support for a statewide volunteer bag program. So hopefully we'll gain some more traction this year in Tallahassee. So again,
I just wanted to say thank you. Start with you, Eric Schwartz, leader of the Rise Against Plastic program. This wouldn't have happened without a whole lot of help. Unfortunately, she's not here. The one day I had something nice to say to Julie. She didn't show up, so I just
I'll let her know.
Let the record show Julie Finch is awesome, and so Jazzy has helped out. Everybody has helped out. I'd be here all day if I thanked everybody, but this is pretty awesome, and thank you for being here. And food for thought, as the local bean counter, the city invested $1,900, I'm going to round, into the program, into donations. And that's where we got those canvas reusable bags that went for 10 each. And now we are holding $2,500. Not a bad ROI for a nonprofit. And if I had any power in it, I would say, let's, Nick, follow that exact model as we go to the community garden. Because the bottom line here is these improvements don't only improve our quality of life and our environment, they can be done at a net profit to the city. It doesn't have to cost us money to live a better life. So let the bean counters take note, and that's all I have to say.
all right, thank you, Josh. Thank you, City of Satellite Beach.
Eric, where do we become a member of Surfrider? Should we become, I know there's like different chapters. Which chapter do you recommend, or which chapter are you in?
I represent the Sebastian Inlet chapter,
Sebastian.
which runs roughly Indian River County. We have members all the way down Vero Beach, Indian River County, up to basically Patrick Air Force Base. And then we have a Cocoa Beach chapter that handles Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, that area.
And you guys meet monthly, or what do you guys?
We meet monthly. The third Wednesday of every month, we meet at, presently we're meeting at the Standard Collective. It's in downtown O'Galley. It's on a corner of Highland Avenue and O'Galley Boulevard. It's a clothing, music. He does multiple things there, an artsy artwork, and it's pretty progressive.
Right?
Yeah, that's where the Plastic Ocean premiere was.
Yes, the Plastic Ocean. And we have a big event this Saturday. If anyone's interested, FIT is broadcast now, I've talked to him multiple times. The Intercoastal Brewery is on O'Galley Boulevard in downtown O'Galley. We're having our second annual Bands, Boards, and Beer Fest.
Oh.
And last year, there was over 1,000 people showed up for the first one, so we expect more than that. And Intercoastal just expanded their operation over there. And we have 6 bands on tap. It runs from noon till 10 o'clock at night. We have 6 shapers, surfboard shapers with tents there. Some eco-friendly businesses are displaying. Approximately about 12 really good craft beers on tap from Intercoastal. And
Sounds like a lot of fun.
it's going to be a good time. The weather's supposed to be clear, about 92 degrees. So if
Thank
y'all
you very
can
much.
make it. It's free, get in. And Surfrider members get a discount, $1 per beer if you're an active member. And the proceeds benefit our chapter. It's a fundraiser. And so, yeah, and if you want to learn more about our organization, surfrider.org is a national website. And our local Facebook page, we have a Sebastian Inlet chapter, Surfrider on a Facebook page too. It keeps everyone up to date on what's happening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any public comment on that? Nope. I think we can move on to item 5, which is information on dark skies. I think, Jazzy, this one is yours.
You're going to talk on it? Or am I?
Well, you can start, and then I'm going to go over my staff report, which will include a lot of that.
Okay.
And if you want me to go ahead with that, I can do it, but
Well, we basically just sat down and kind of went through all the information and like what we would need to do to apply for the status. And what we found is that we're already kind of working on some of these things. So we can go ahead and apply for the provisionary status, right?
Yep, that's
Provisionary
correct.
status. So that'll kind of get us, on our way to that while we're working towards becoming fully certified.
couldn't have said it better myself. Perfect.
Great.
You want to give some idea of what's involved with,
I'll go over it in my staff report. I'll go over more detail. Yep.
Is there any public comment on that? Then I think we can go right to the staff report.
All right, well, I'll start the staff report with the Dark Skies Initiative. So after meeting with Jazzy, we looked at the Dark Skies Initiative, and yes, the provisional status is preferred, because as part of the Sustainability Action Plan, it didn't actually require us to do anything except for investigate the dark skies. So we've already done that through conversations and looking at the website, and I've called and talked to the organization, and provisional status is the first step. And in order to do that, there's a laundry list of different items as far as eligibility, and I can go over them all in detail, but basically, we're already on our way to a lot of them. And sitting down with Jazzy, we outlined a lot of the ways that we can complete these individual different eligibility requirements. Things such as, examples of minimum of 10 projects built under the lighting code. Well, if we're going to be building DeSoto Park and all these new projects coming down the line, we can go ahead and think about that ahead of time and try to incorporate that into new projects. So it's working with other, different parts of the city to go ahead and implement this in the next 5 years, because the provisional status, 3 years for the provisional status. So we have 3 years as a provisional status to actually achieve the full status. And that falls well within the Sustainability Action Plan being a 5-year goal for those 20 green achievement targets. So I believe that having provisional status as the first step during that 5-year period is a very achievable goal for a Sustainability Action Plan. And then if we achieve that and work towards getting the full status, we can do that either as a bonus during that first 5 years of the Sustainability Action Plan, or actually have that complemented in the next phase of the Sustainability Action Plan in years 6 through 10. I think that's pretty reasonable, and it puts us in a nice place to communicate with all these different entities, residents, agencies that would be involved with those types of adjustments. And that includes working with building and zoning to make any adjustments to code if necessary. Our conversation ended on the fact that let's utilize the code that we have
and structure it around that so that we don't have to make any code adjustments. If we don't have to, we can go ahead and get that status as is using the code that we currently have. So,
We determined that the beaches fell under the category currently as well.
due to our sea turtle,
Yeah.
we might want to work on a few things within that to incorporate that for a longer period of time, maybe year-round. But again, that's something that we're just talking about as far as possible. But getting that provisional status and communicating with the agency itself will help clear up any of those issues with toad. So I think that, I'm just going to go on each of these targets of my report, and then we can go back and review them all. If that's okay with you, Dawn? Yeah? All right. So that's the Dark Skies Initiative, Bat House, tree signage. We had talked about the importance of native bat habitat in previous meetings, and all the bat houses are up. The signage is up on the bat houses, and we talked about putting a similar signage on sable palm trees in certain areas to try to incentivize that. So I think the first thing is to decide on the location, areas that aren't going to get, as much visibility from your average resident, so that we can actually see how it works. I think the community garden area is the perfect place to do that, because there are a lot of these types of trees around that area. So with your guys' approval, I'll draft up a very simple sign, and we can install one around the community garden area. I see lots of heads nodding. Good. We'll take comments at the end. So moving on to the community garden update. I know this was a topic that everybody was really excited to get moving. I'll read you what I wrote, and then we'll talk about it in more detail. The community garden outreach has begun, and various groups are being contacted to take part in the conservation and creation of the garden. This basically is saying that the scouts are going to be involved. There's 2 different scouts. They're going to use their Eagle Scout projects to build the beds as one Eagle Scout project, and build the fence and the entranceway and maybe a bench or 2 as part of that separate Eagle Scout project. So 2 working in conjunction together. If possible, we might actually get a beneficial couple of extra structures, maybe the benches or a picnic table, because as a scout project, usually they have to generate funds. And since ours is already approved, we might be able to actually supplement some phase 2 things in phase 1, which is kind of nice. So, let's see. The scouts will also be using the construction of the shade house, if possible, as volunteers. That's currently underway right now with cooperation from Balance for Earth. That funding was matched with KBB, and that's under construction, as the blisters on my palms can attest to. So the plans for the shade house will be purchased by hopefully as many local entities as possible, if not utilizing Aquatic Plants of Florida due to their stellar reputation with quality plants as seen out front in the stormwater area around the pond. So if that's possible, that'll be done on the 20th of next month, with KBB supporting the planting of those plants. So I'm going to try to create a small planting day to go ahead with that. That'll get more attention around the community garden, so that if we needed any more beds sold, we could probably use the people that are most interested to pull from as a pool of possible people that want to do this. My main question to the board is, who do we want as the owners of these community garden plots in year 1? Do we want to limit it to residents only? Or do we want to have it on a first come, first serve? Or do we want to have it on a review basis, determining their quality of character? I drafted some things as far as agreements based on other community gardens that they would sign. I'll bring those to the board before the next meeting to approve it before we actually construct the community garden itself. But I wanted to get a kind of a gauge from you guys as to what your audience you want for this. We never really discussed that in too much detail.
Could you tell me how many people have inquired about them already?
So we have 12 inquiries.
And the residents, we believe?
9 of them are residents.
Why not open it to residents for a given period of time, and then it's anybody?
Exactly, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
How do we get a plot? I know.
So on our
like 3.
city website, I've created a link on the sustainability page. You may have seen some changes to that since my position. I've created a bat house link. There's a community garden link. There's going to be an eco art link. There's bat houses, all these different links. The idea is so that the community can actually utilize our website to communicate with us directly when it comes to projects. So they can click on it. They can get my email. They can email me directly. I've had 2 people contact me that way. So it's proven successful. We can also do it on Facebook if we want to do it on Facebook. I don't think we'll need to, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Does that answer your question?
Are the other three, are they individuals, or are they like businesses or schools or anything like that?
Businesses. I was talking to Long Doggers and Papagallos to see if they were interested, and I got some interest back from Dave Rich and CJ, but nothing concrete as yet, so
Okay.
provisional.
So it's the local business? still
Local
within the
businesses,
city.
yeah. I would love to see them actually sponsor the beds themselves, so that then we could use that money to build more beds in the next year, and we can put it into a general fund for that. Much like FIT is doing, I believe they're having their beds sponsored by,
120 is sponsored.
120 for the sponsor, yeah. I'm pretty much modeling everything we do after the successful example at FIT, so.
It'd be fun if we could talk to Surfside.
I have a conversation pending with Erica as we speak, so. I want to get her kids involved with the planting on the 20th of the Shade House, and that would kind of get them involved, so,
Okay, cool.
hopefully.
I think I would want to clarify my suggestion, that is, city residents and businesses before outside the boundaries.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if a business wants to sponsor one, that's great. If they want to actually rent one and utilize it, I think it'd be really neat to have basil grown in the community garden, sold as pesto for pasta at Papagallos, or something along those lines. So getting the sponsors, talked about that. We talked about availability. Moving on to the Sustainability Action Plan. That period has closed for public comment. We did receive public comment via email about the plan from resident through the website. As I set it up, it's available online from the view. We have the final version of the document being edited as we speak. It's been sent to FIT. I put in the edits from the council that we had come back to us at the workshop. Those were made and submitted. Dr. Linneman and Zach are going to go over them. They're going to send that back to us. Once it comes back to us, Rochelle and Courtney will each review it separately and independently, and then hopefully we'll all gather around and have a last-minute powwow before it's finalized. So that's going really well. Some of the changes that I made were in regards to the Dark Skies Initiative, including provisional status as the goal, and not just looking into it. Changing some wording on a few other green achievement targets that, were good, but for the LEED certified building specifically was my issue, because we don't want to pay money for a certification that's a certification in name that you can get by saying LEED equivalent. So if we say the words LEED equivalent, we can still have the same standards, exactly the same, but not have to pay the exorbitant amount of money for that certification. So the council liked that one, so we went ahead with that one. And a few other things were adjusted, and all those are under review. So the GAT timeline adjustments, I looked at the green achievement targets, and if you guys really want to know the details of this, we can go over that in more detail later. But I sat down with Zach, and we went over the timeline for each of these and put them into a more substantial order so that we can look at actually achieving them in some kind of a form. Let's see, next is incentivizing businesses was something that Courtney was concerned about. So the first thing that I'm going to do to try to get more commercial business in the area, and Dylan was at the meeting as well, that we want to create a welcome package. So if the Sustainability Board would like to email me with ideas as to what you would like to have a business be welcomed into the city with, I would greatly appreciate it. We're thinking of simple things that these people can be aware of when they move to the area or create a business in the area, so that they can have sustainability in mind, like eco-friendly products and things of that nature. So to that effect, I've contacted a company that does eco-friendly products and is hopefully going to sponsor Founders Day in November with eco-friendly products. And we will put in a small order potentially to get eco-friendly products at our town hall meetings in the near future. And this way we can be an example to the city as always.
Will that only be available to new businesses, or will we send it?
Oh, no, I mean, I'm going to try to,
Send it out to businesses?
once we get the new businesses in line, I know I've talked to John Stone at Building and Zoning about how actually reaching out to every single business is rather difficult, but it is a good goal to talk to everybody at least for a little bit. And for me personally, as the environmental programs coordinator, I would love to be able to meet with each of these businesses. Eventually, I'm young enough that I think I might be able to make the rounds, hopefully before my time expires. So the next order was the bike rack for City Hall, because I rode my bike to try to be more sustainable. Councilwoman Gibson also did the same. So creating a safe place to lock up bicycles for people that want to attend meetings or even go to work would be beneficial. So we've ordered a bike rack that is the exact same as the one previously ordered by Public Works for facilities at Pelican Park. And that will be installed here so that we can go ahead and do that. So if you want to bring your bike rack and ride your bike, that'll be available in the near future. Let's see, we have the solar RFP as well that I placed on your dais. That just basically goes over everything that was brought to council. And it can also be viewed in the Melbourne Beachsider as a small snippet of information. I did a little interview with them, and they talked about lots of things. If you'd like to read it, it's online. It's another way that we're trying to get people to the Sustainability Action Plan, so he put it out in the paper. So people know about the plan. That's the good thing. We went to 4 events out of the 5 because the Policemen's Athletic League event was canceled, so we didn't get to attend that event. However, again, really good review from the Sustainability Action Plan. Regarding the solar RFP, the basic nuts and bolts of it are as follows: that in the first 10 years, we can pay back the loan that it would take to pay for the solar. After the first 10 years, we would accrue actual gain of $195,000 in the form of savings that we would pay on our power. So that amount of money saved would go into a fund, hopefully, that would be able to be used for future projects. As Josh was saying, it's nice and important to think fiscally as well as sustainably. With all that in mind, I have 3 more quick orders, and then I will leave you to your council meeting. Let's see, we have the invasive species codes and programs for the future, something that's under development that I'd love to have feedback from as far as how you would like to use the Sustainability Board to inform people or to talk about these issues, because invasive species impact the environment, which impacts the lagoon, which impacts our draw to people that want to live here. So the idea of moving forward with Carrotwood as the next Category 1 invasive species to be removed in the city program is under development for that. First phase. Let's see, what else? Stormwater ponds and restoration projects with the National Estuary Program. So the NEP has put out an RFP for projects, and I'll be working with Public Works and Jess to look at the possibility of applying for different grants. This goes right along with the stormwater education grant that Dylan, Balance for Earth, assisted me with in applying for the Florida Today grant for our Community Thrives program, that hopefully will be voted on by all those interested for its success.
It was shared on the sustainability page, Balance for Earth City Manager page. You can find the link pretty much anywhere. Go every single day and vote.
You are allowed to vote every day, once a day, with as many emails as you have access to. In voting for this project, we could hopefully get $100,000 or $50,000 to educate the public about stormwater by vegetating, you'll see this in the video, by vegetating the ponds on the south side of the retention ponds next to the library. We want to, not impact our residents, but also provide stormwater protection, and by giving them a little buffer zone, that would prove probably beneficial for community comment. Once we do that, we will create a educational trail utilizing the existing trail system, improving upon it by, highlighting native vegetation that's there, removing any invasives, and maybe planting some extra native vegetation along the trail system, and creating signage to that effect so people understand the connection between an urban environment and stormwater. Any comments on that at any time are always welcome and available to me at my email. On that same train of thought, the shade house that's being built is another potential grant draw to the National Estuary Program for a partnership with Brevard County School System. Matt Susan had heard about the project and wants to implement another shade house at our school system, combining Dolores, Satellite, and that's Holland, correct? Is that Holland? And Holland, to hopefully have maybe 1 or 2 shade houses to get the students to do what we're doing at our shade house. So as we propagate plants to utilize around the city and Public Works to beautify the area, they could do the same around their school, and hopefully the lagoon proper by growing mangroves and native plants under the supervision of the Sustainability Board and its appointed employee. so to speak. Then, okay, one more thing, and then I swear I'm done. The stormwater inspector certification was attended by myself and passed, so you now have a certified stormwater inspector at your disposal for projects. For example, the DeSoto project at the pond area off of DeSoto Park area, I'll be able to assist with that and making sure that all contractors involved adhere to the strictest of EPA and DEP regulations so as to not impede any problems with our lagoon. To that effect, again, if you have any questions regarding stormwater, please feel free to ask. And last but not least, he's not here today, but you may all be familiar with Monty Fine, a fine individual indeed who has come forward and created a community rock garden sculpture, a coquina rock garden sculpture at Pelican Park. If you've seen it, it's very aesthetically pleasing. It's what I would designate as eco art, and that'll be another thing that I'll add to the website so that when we do a mural at the community garden or for the signs that are going to be up at all the streets, it'd be really nice to have this type of draw to the residents of the city so that they know that we're engaged and they're engaged as well. So a certificate of appreciation to Monty Fine for his coquina rock garden sculpture named Ocean, in recognition of his efforts with the city of Satellite Beach to inspire the city through the display of creativity in the form of an eco-art installation at Pelican Park. We value his talents that inspire the city and its residents. This is awarded to him by the city of Satellite Beach and the city council on this day, the 21st of April. So this was a couple of days ago, and he regretfully is unable to attend to accept this. So I will give it to him personally and drop it off to him there. We also put an article in the Beach Caster as well, so that he gets recognition that way as well. It's really nice. And also provided us an opportunity to educate people about coquina rock, because it is a very unique rock structure among geologists, and those rock hounds of us that exist in the world find any reason to tell other people about the magnificence of things that are older than us. So with that, I graciously bow my head to any questions or from the board or from the community about my lengthy staff report. So. Questions, comments?
This RFP is already going to city council, right?
And approved.
Got it.
This is just to let you guys know that it's been approved by council, and we will be putting it out. It'll be in the newspaper, on Facebook, the website, and we will make an effort to contact the parties that will be of most interest to a successful operation of generating solar power for City Hall and those buildings to follow.
Last thought is you're talking about the website and just communicating with businesses and trying to get this word out. Have we started a mailing list, an emailing list of people who want updates from sustainability?
Anybody that has ever contacted me since I've been hired is on a spreadsheet, and it is 19 people long.
Okay. But it is growing.
It is growing. It is growing. 19 people. Not including the people I already know, because that would be cheating.
That's all I have, sorry.
Yeah. Really? All that nothing? Nobody?
You got it. Is there any public comment? Just that easy. Oh.
Thank you, man.
Mitty Gibson, 110 Sherwood. I just wanted to thank you guys for being awesome. And as a council member, seeing everything flowing from you guys and coming to us, and we're so impressed and so happy that we have you and all of you guys. And I just want to say, for me as a resident, I appreciate everything you do. And the business part of it is real near and dear to me personally. It's something that I advocated in my campaigning, and we really want to try to find some way to bring businesses in to the eco side of it, but also recognize them for doing so, and create a good relationship with the city and them on all the levels. So any ideas you guys have would be greatly appreciated. So thank you. Love you guys.
Alrighty, I think that takes us along to item 7, project updates from board members. So start that with you, Dylan. And just
So I've got a number of videos, but I'm not prepared to really show them right now. There's like 5 videos right now. So by the next meeting, you guys are going to be overloaded. That's about it for me.
Promote the stormwater one again, promote it again, promote it again.
Sorry, what?
Promote the stormwater one again.
Oh, yeah, and please do, go to either Balance for Earth, the city's Sally Beach Sustainability page, or go to the city manager page. All of us have posted the link. Just click it, fill out your name and your email, and click vote, please, every day. Thank you.
You know, when you've got a video completed, you can just send the link to
To you.
Julie, and she can distribute it. You don't have to wait till the next meeting to see it.
No, but that's completely true, but I'm saying by the next meeting, you guys are going to be overloaded by videos. Just prepare yourself. I'm not saying that the next meeting I'm going to show them all. I'm just saying by the next meeting, there's going to be a flood of videos with the city.
Okay.
So we had the, gosh, feels like that was a long time ago now, the Green Circle Salon.
All right. It's only like 2 weeks left.
4 years ago, we had this. It didn't really have the turnout that I was hoping for. We had 2 salons that attended. There were a couple salons when I was out and about that actually had me call the company to sign them up there. A lot of people did express a lot of interest. I also got critiqued by quite a few people for holding it on a Saturday, since it's a busy salon day. So that was definitely my fault. I accept full responsibility for that. But Dylan was nice enough to attend. Julie asked him to. He recorded, and, you know, he had said that he learned a lot from being there about it. So he interviewed myself and Amy Goey from the company, who came out to educate everybody. And he's going to put together a video. He's going to come out to my salon. He's going to film a lot of the salon waste to put together a video that hopefully we can distribute and help to raise more awareness. Amy was really excited about our city, the fact that we have a sustainability board, what we're doing, and she said that she'd be more than willing to fly out and come and give it a go again. So thanks for that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no updates for this meeting.
As far as the bag program, it is not quite over. I just want to thank Gazzy. You still have them, and you don't
40
have-
pounds worth.
40 pounds. So you guys can buy the pound. It's pretty affordable. She's distributing through her salon, which is awesome, and then Julie still has some inventory here. So, you know, there's still
Which
more.
types are available?
The canvas bags, I think, are the ones that go after this.
And my salon had all 3.
You have all 3.
Yeah.
So you got a good Jazzy salon. She
Yeah.
has a great haircut too. That's all I have. So I'll let you go.
I haven't visited, but Carol Robichek is making progress on the library garden. I haven't taken the time to go down and see it, but understand that it's developing. And it surprised me, the library system is allowing them to cut the metal gutters to put in rain barrels. Which I think is amazing that the county would let somebody mess with the nice metal gutters in one of their libraries.
Are they going to be able to use the water, like irrigated water, or are they using fresh water for the plants? Or I know they're using mostly native species and plants, but
I'm not sure how they're working on that.
She actually approached me not too long ago. She called me, and I went over there and looked at where all the downspouts were, and I have a rain barrel that I'm just going to give her. But I'm glad to hear that they're allowing them to cut the downspouts, because I was also at Sea Park on Earth Day helping them with their garden. Don DeFresne? I think so. I can't remember. But anyway, she has a garden club there, and they have a bunch of raised beds that they're building, all kinds of cool stuff like that. I brought a couple of trees, a couple of fruit trees that I got at the Brevard Tropical Fruit Club tree sale. She's gonna try to do the same thing, see if she can get approval to cut the fancy aluminum gutters and put in, a diverter higher up so that they can have automated systems that'll just continually water, or spread the rain water out anyway.
Of course, we are in a record drought, too.
yeah, if it ever does rain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some other ideas I had when I was over at Sea Park, is I was looking for sources of water, and they have air conditioners everywhere with condensate drains, which if you can tap into the condensate drain, you can use that water. There's also fountains, water fountains there with drains on them, and if you can tap into those drains, you can just divert that water over to a tree or whatever. So I plan on doing that there. Hopefully we can get, that school looking as good as Surfside. Because if you've been over there, needs a lot of help.
It looked good. I was just over there the other day.
Yeah, it's getting better and
Yeah.
better, but if you look in between the rows of classrooms, it's just barren nothingness.
Yeah, it got a little bit of a facelift though.
Yeah, so it's great that we have Don working up there. Is that inside the city limits? It's not, is it? Sea Park, no.
Sea Park's
That's right, okay.
It's part of greater Sally.
Yeah, so.
We would love it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, should happen, hopefully.
That was pretty much all I had.
Okay, my update is Nick has been working like a dog. This guy right here, I've been watching him work. So I'm helping with the community garden by watching Nick. And let me tell you something, Nick is doing something over there, and it's awesome. I told him I'm going to help him, but I'm still watching him. But we're going to.
Kind words warm my heart.
But we are going to have the Umbrella Thieves. We're going to have, you ever heard of them? The band, the Umbrella Thieves? Anybody? Okay, they're a local band. We're going to have food trucks right there at the opening when it's September 1st, for their grand opening. Ribbon cutting with the mayor. Gigantic party. We're going to have Coastal with kegs of beer.
I love it all. Let's do it.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Just relax. Just chill out. It's going to all happen. This is for the grand opening for the community garden. Right behind, we have that beautiful park right there. So we have all the space parking spot. We have a ribbon cutting. We're going to have band, the Umbrella Thieves. We're going to have some kegs donated. We're going to have a...
I'll get on it.
The beer garden.
That's the sign of beer garden.
All local. It's all going to be good. It's good for you. You can walk there, bike there. That's it. You can only walk or bike. We'll accept 20 cars. Skateboard. I love skateboards.
That does remind me of one thing, if I can add on, since we're art, we good? The art at the community garden was something that was brought to my attention as a possible opportunity, so when we get to that phase, a mural on the racquetball wall, which would be really nice, the exterior wall, and then also the back wall, the stone wall, is brick, and would be really nice to have everybody that purchases a community garden plot can paint or write their name on another brick in the wall of a community garden. So we can have our Pink Floyd wall of the community garden.
It's brick or block?
Block. It's block. So you get a nice block size.
Right.
Which is good.
It's bigger.
Yeah. And if we want to paint it first once and then kind of outline it, or just do it very, rustic, it's another fun idea to give me more work to do.
If I could add one more thing, there is another sustainability ally being built. I was invited to help form a green committee at the Space Coast Realtors, and we just had our first meeting, so we are creating a green committee there, and that's going to be a huge ally.
Awesome.
Very cool. Is there any public comment on those updates?
So Dylan, I understand that they are they're combining SCAR with MAR, the two really are Space Coast Area Realtors and Brevard, whatever it is. Anyway, so they're building a new building, Are they going to try to get that,
We are trying to get them right now to.
get it lead or something?
Yes, I put a lot of pressure on them last time, making them realize that investment and how much value it really has, even just the social understanding of being able to say, we went green with our new building.
Right.
And so.
And what a great time, when these two
I'm pushing it.
organizations.
As of right now, they don't have much going on green for that building, if
Yeah.
that's what you're asking. No, it's not there yet.
Great.
But I'm moving them there.
Awesome.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Yes, come up here.
What new
Name
building?
and address.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Rules.
You're doing so awesome. We actually want to just see your shoes.
All right.
There is no such thing
And I'm
as a
short and I
stupid
can't
question.
reach the thing. See, I need 3 inches. Hi, I'm Dina Dearman. I was supposed to meet Terry Mott, if you know who she is here. All right, so my question was what new building?
Yeah, there's a new
Where do you
building
live?
being built. There's
Excuse
no
me?
long.
Where do you live?
Oh, yeah, you have to tell, that's part of it.
It's not just me.
I live in Melbourne.
Oh.
I know, I'm west. I know.
Still good. We'll
I
accept
live
it.
over the causeway, okay? But I used to work at Satellite Beach High School. Does that count for
That
anything?
does definitely count. So now we know why you left.
Yeah, but you don't want to know where I work now, so. Cocoa Beach, junior, senior high school. Okay, so that's irrelevant. I'm wasting a lot of valuable time. All my question was
The
simple.
associations are deciding to come together finally after years of arguing and not coming together, and they are building a new building. And I don't actually have the exact location address, so I do.
Oh, so this is like, I thought a new building was in the process.
No, it's being built. I just don't have the actual address offhand personally.
Pineda and Wickham.
Yeah, there's essentially a new building going up, I need it,
Okay,
Palm Shores, yes.
Pineda and Wickham. That was my simple question. Thank you.
Rising up in the world.
Thank you.
Okay, do we want to set some agenda items for the next meeting? Food for thought, at the last meeting, we had, I forget the gentleman's name, forgive me, talk about the resolution for the climate.
Yeah.
Charlie Mixon.
Thank you. Do we want to follow up on that next meeting, maybe? Add that to the,
I think any help that we can help Nick out with his community garden, is there anything that we can do?
Oh, yes, anyone who wants to.
He needs volunteers.
Yeah.
Volunteers,
Please send any volunteers my way, give them my email, I'll be happy to get them to sign the proper paperwork and put them to labor,
He's only got one person out there so far.
right.
other than myself.
Yeah, other than himself, other than himself, other than himself.
But regarding, did you want to, regarding Charlie and that, I mean, if that's an issue.
I'm just throwing it out there as an idea, I don't know if anybody.
It has been discussed until their ideas are more solid, more concrete, and with actual benefit of some determinable nature that is through evidence and through actual data to back up a lot of their claims. It's best if we don't, the right way to say it, this we don't give them false hope for something that they don't have enough evidence for.
Fair enough. Any other items we want to put on the next agenda?
I have something. I'd like to talk about putting oaks, live oaks in Satellite Beach. Like have some type of I don't know if it would be something we could do in conjunction with a community garden.
And the
or
shade house?
just maybe, just a way to offer Satellite Beach citizens, and it doesn't have to just be live oaks, but live oaks are something that I really like. And if you've ever been down to Vero Beach and seen how beautiful that beach community is because of the live oaks they have down there, I think it would work very well in our city, and we could certainly use the shade. There's a lot of benefits to it. Not only do they produce free mulch, they protect buildings from hurricanes. What else? They
Creative homes for birds,
habitats for animals.
shade.
What was your electric bill?
Yeah, so,
Aesthetics.
and I know there's some, there's obviously drawbacks to them too, that they require trimming and things like that, but I think that the benefits of having them outweigh the negatives. So maybe that's something that we can put on the agenda for next week, and I can do a little bit more research, and
So if I can offer a comment on that, regarding the incentive to remove invasives in the community as part of the future of invasive management in the city, incentivizing them with native plants that can replace those invasives is the alternative. And to do it at cost through the shade house would be ideal. And since it's located in an area that has, as was pointed out to me, native plants in abundance, such as
Bismarck's.
the Bismarck palm, we can actually utilize those that are currently there and take them from baby seedlings that are actually growing 3 feet from the shade house and bring them to full growth and populate with those, as well as oaks, because, you know, just having one isn't going to do it, but live oaks, Bismarcks, sable palm. Fruit trees as well.
Edible.
These are all the things that the shade house is going to bring, as well as a reduced cost of native plants to the city of at least $1,000 a year, because we buy our native plants when we vegetate, which is another cost that we can eliminate with some support and volunteer work. So, when the time comes, expect that email.
In addition to live oaks, there are several species of scrub oaks. And from experience, we had a live oak. My wife got concerned when it got big enough that if anything happened during a storm, it was to the east of the house, we'd have a problem. So she had it taken out. But I've tried some scrub oaks, haven't had total success, except where they were protected a little bit. But nice thing, especially if you're promoting solar on rooftop, after a point, a live oak's going to probably get to be a problem unless you can put it north, but then you don't want to shade your neighbor and all this. But scrub oaks don't get too big. And, you know, that's another in the same genus. And
Agreed.
they are designed to grow in this.
And we have a lot of saplings, both at Satellite Beach, by the skate park, and the stormwater pond area, and that native area we can harvest saplings from, and Sampson's Island as well. So as far as the seed source goes for native plants, we're in abundance. It's just going to be getting people inspired. So, thank you, John. Yeah. Any other native plants that you guys feel are important? Bring them to the shade house. Use your Mr. Miyagi skills. Grow them as bonsai.
I didn't have a green thumb before the drought, so really
Actually,
bad year.
seeing John in the audience, if you want a green hedge to hide something, Florida privet does wonderfully. It tops out at about 25 or 30 feet. They don't get all big this way. They tend to grow up. They are very fast growing. They're reasonably hardy against high winds. It might break them or something, but then they just sprout up again. So, and they're all over the place. They're seeding probably in almost everybody's yard. They just don't know what it is that's coming up.
Good to know. All right. Any public comment on that? All right. Quick technical question. Do I need to get separate motions for 8, 9, and 10, or can we just wrap that all into one motion for all the minutes?
I'll move we adopt all the minutes as.
I second.
Well, they're two different committees, so if you can just do yours as one, and then the other for the, what is the other one, the community garden, those can all go as one.
Got it, okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to do
I
that?
wasn't involved in the community garden, so probably not appropriate for me. So,
I'd like to adopt the minutes for the community garden.
Can I get a second?
Second. John, Dave, Floyd, Dave and Dave.
Who's second? I'm sorry.
Dave.
Okay.
Dave Floyd.
John Fergus,
yes.
Eugene Matthews,
Yes.
Jazzy Hennings,
Yes.
Matt White. Oh,
Here.
going down the line there, okay. And David Floyd,
Yes.
David Bigliardi,
Yes.
and Josh Foss.
Yes.
So now the other one.
Next one, John.
Also move for the other.
Second.
David Vecchiotti,
Yes.
David Floyd,
Yes.
Jesse Hennings,
Yes.
Eugene Matthews,
Yes.
John Fergus,
Yes.
Josh Foss.
Yes. All right, I think that's all. The meeting is adjourned. Under an hour.
I don't think we've ever done that before. I actually don't think we've ever done that before. I really don't.
Yes.